Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and this video is part of our Cape trip series. And this video will be part 1 of 2, because when we get back from the Cape, I'm gonna leave everything as is. I'm not gonna sort of touch anything else. I'm just gonna pull everything back out. And as I pull it out, I'll give you the warts and all around what I thought of that particular bit of kit, whether it was a must take, whether it was a waste of time, whether it broke, whether it was excellent, all of the bits and pieces. So now first up, from a sleep system perspective, we're basically gonna be using the 23-0 Sabre X rooftop tent for 2 of us. And then the third will be in a swag. We've got one of the 23-0 Bandits here, the Bandit 1100 with the stretcher. So that's pretty much self-contained. We already have our bedding and everything all stored in the swag and in the Sabre X. So we're good to go there. Makes things nice and easy. You don't have to pack things separately, mucking around with sleeping bags and all of that sort of stuff. So that's our sleep system sorted. Now from a camp furniture perspective, I tried to keep everything kind of light and no fuss. I figure we're going to be doing a whole bunch of Ks. We're going from Brisbane, so it is about a 6,000 kilometre round trip. And I figured after some big days on the road, the last thing you're going to want to do is spend forever setting up camp. So we're gone just with some pretty basic chairs. These are a couple from 23-0, they're springback and Senator chairs. Great chairs, nice and comfy. I did have some other chairs as well. They're a little bit compact, more compact. They fold down nice and flat. But once again, I'm kind of thinking at this stage, I'll let you know in part 2 when I get back, whether it's worth the extra size. I'm just kind of thinking you're going to want a comfy place to sit down when you've been on the road all day and you want to relax. So got some big chairs. And then what I've done here with tables, rather than some big tables, I've got these little guys. These sort of fold out, and you'll see in the daily vlogs, they're super light, super compact, and they fold out to not quite a metre squared, but almost. And they're nice and light, and I've got 3. So there's 1 each. So the idea is when we get to camp, we can just open up the back here, throw the swag out. That'll be taking up the most of the space at the back. And then you grab your chair, grab your table, plonk it down, and you're all set up. That's the theory anyway. And if you watch this in chronological order, you'll know that I'm heading off tomorrow. And then if you watch the daily vlogs, you'll see whether that actually comes true, whether that works or not. But that's about it from a sort of a furniture perspective. I reckon from here, let's have a look at what I'm gonna do with cooking. Right, so from a food prep perspective, we've got a couple of options here. And I'm not sort of planning on cooking up massive feasts and that sort of thing. Got my standard set up here. This is one of their Coleman EPIC ones. I've only just got this and only been using it recently. Seems to be so far so good. I then just have my standard pots and pans, that kind of thing that will go in there. Trying to keep the mess at a minimum. Gas bottle there. This is a 4 kilo. Should be plenty from what I've been able to work out. It will be running some hot water there. We'll talk about that in a second as well, but we'll see how we go. I do have one of Buck Wild's new stainless steel grills as well. This is a fire pit, but also has a grill on top, so super keen to try that out as well. And then other than that, pretty sort of standard stuff. I've got my, of course, the billy we have to take, and then I've just got my standard bag, which has my chopping board and all the stainless steel, you know, cups, plates, bowls, and all of that sort of stuff. So that's what I'll be using for my cooking. The final thing from a cooking perspective, kind of cooking, I guess, is the fridge that I'm taking. This is the old workhorse. You would have seen a video that's a little bit old now, and this was on the Evercool Dual Zone 80 fridge freeze, or you can have freeze or fridge freezer, so I'm not really sure. I think I'm probably gonna have the littler one as a freezer, so I can sort of freeze some meat, flick it over into the fridge then to let it defrost. That should be plenty, 80 litres. All right, I reckon from here, let's head on over to sort of toiletries and that sort of jazz and what I'm thinking there. This part's gonna be kind of personal preference and who you're going with and sort of how you like to roll with this sort of stuff. I've got my little chemical toilet thing here, so standard sort of affair there, nothing fancy. I'm rolling a full separate toilet shower tent. This is one from Drifter Stockton. That's actually really, really good. I haven't done a little review on that, but I might if anyone's interested. It is super, super fast setup, and it is a little bit easier than some of those other ones. So I really like that, nice and sturdy, and has a full roof on it. Also have the companion hot water shower kit here as well that I'll be taking. That's gonna give us the ability to sort of grab a bunch of fresh water from one of the nice clean creeks and have a nice shower. just to wash all the dust off and that kind of thing when we need it. So that's going to be pretty cool. Now, a couple of other things that I'm taking, I sort of do this little YouTube channel that's called VideoShowMeHow, the one you're watching right now, and I'm testing out a Starlink. So that is what is in here. It's I've only got a separate little bag for it, so it keeps it nice and secure and waterproof. I figured that's probably important. So I've got a Starlink there, and I'm testing out this new battery bank from All Powers as well. That's a big 1500 watt unit, and it, from what I've tested, will run the Starlink for about 30 hours without needing a recharge. Going to be using those to send you these videos from the track and do the daily vlog, so that's going to be cool. We'll see how that goes. I then have my extra solar blanket here in the back. This is the iTech World 300 watt. That sucker puts out about 15 amps, so that's going to be handy if the one on top of the Sabre X sort of isn't keeping up. And then other than that, sort of under MISC, I guess you could say, we've got our tyre inflator deflator kit, which I'm dead keen to use. This is the new 4 tyre version from Tough Terrain. Really keen to see how that goes. Looks like a really good quality kit. I've just grabbed an Amazon special little hammock here. I've got grand visions of sitting by, hopefully no floating log billabongs, but sitting by and relaxing on a couple of the days where we're stopped on the side of some pretty specky spots. We'll see how that goes. I am taking a spare jerry can. This is 22 litre for some diesel that I'll carry once I'm past cans. I'll just carry that with me just for emergencies. And then taking a bunch of aerobic gear. I'm a bit of a fanboy of the 18 volt stuff. Just nice and easy. I've got a bunch of batteries and I can charge that nice and easily via some DC charging on the store mod there as well. I can just plug it straight in there and away we go, so we can keep them all topped up. Got a couple of fans, little radio there as well, and this little jobby, which is just excellent. Highly recommended. We'll see how that goes on the Cape, but I've been using this for camping for quite a while. You can deflate stuff, you can blow stuff, you can start fires, you can blow dust off, all the bits and pieces. So we have our chainsaw. I've got an 18 volt brushless in there with a whole bunch of batteries as well for our firewood. I've got my tool bag. Definitely recommend grabbing and bringing a whole bunch of tools. I've gone through that and made sure that I have everything I need in there. I have a bunch of these front runner storage boxes. I found these to be excellent. I've got 2 for dry food. One is my standard camping box that has all the, you know, your camping knick-knack type stuff. And then I've got my mechanical box. And in there, I just have all the sort of stuff you probably should be taking on a long off-road trip. I've got some Fuel Doctor, some extra hose, sealants. I've got an extra fuel filter in here, a snorkel head cover there, some tools. We've got some of the steel putty stuff here as well, and all of that sort of jazz. Window cleaner, tire repair, tire puncher kits, and that sort of jazz there as well. Not that the Cape is super remote, but you want to be able to get yourself out of a pickle by yourself. So that's what's all in there, ready to go. But there you go. That's a bit of an overview of all the gear that I'm taking on the Cape trip. Now, like I said at the start of the video, this is part 1 of 2 on the gear side of things. So look out for part 2. It may be out by the time you're watching this. So subscribe if you haven't already, so you can get the little notification when that video comes out. Of course, a massive thank you to the patrons of VideoShowMeHow. Extra support there, guys, as always, is legendary, so thank you very much. If you're keen to check out what's going on Patreon over there, we do try and do a monthly or so giveaway over there to patrons, and also there's a bunch of perks and merch and that sort of stuff. So you can head on over to patreon.com/VideoShowMeHow if you're interested. That's it for this one, guys. So other than that, as always, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.